Hey guys, Fusebox back on Raid Shadow Legends, and I've just been working. I'm so sorry that it's been so long. Definitely ready to get back into this and have some fun. That's not going to get better though. I got a lot to do, but I'm going to make time to do this because I've really been wanting to go over these Doom Tower heroes that you get for free. Some of them that may seem a long ways off. Some of them you've probably already gotten. But I do want to start with the green jelly here. Green jelly. So old Inky from Pac-Man. This guy, I don't know what he's hiding in that belly button of his, that void of a belly button, but there's got to be something cool in there. He's amazing. He's fun. That's the reason I want to go over him. Super cool. And before I start, I'm going to be running him in a toxic set. So big shout out to Stu Gaming. When this guy came out, he showed how using a toxic set helps you to solo and just do amazing things. We'll go over that in a minute. If you want to check his video out, he's moved on. Stu has gone on to the Immortal, what is it? Yeah, Diablo. Cool game. Good luck, Stu. I hope everything works out good doing that. But he did a whole lot for Raid, and this guy in a toxic set is something I want to go over. So what do you do? What does he do? Urost the Soulcage. What do you get out of this guy? Let's start with his passive. Okay, when he gets hit, he has a passive ability to plant a poison. With books, it's 75%. With a sniper mastery, it's 80% chance to put a poison on anybody who hits him. That's pretty cool. Kind of reminds you of Drexler, right? Puts the HP burn up when he gets hit. Whenever an ally gets attacked while they're under a strengthen buff, which he can provide, by the way, but it doesn't have to be his, he will put a provoke on the enemy. That's super cool. It's instant control from a passive. Provoke's going out just because your team's getting hit while they have strengthen up. And this is even better. While one of his poisons does damage to the enemy, he gets 5% extra max HP. This dude is built with HP. It's easy to get him up really high, around 100,000. And then he gets an extra 5% on top of that. Also, when enemies take poison damage, they lose 5% of their max HP, making him perfect for the Scarab boss. We're going to talk about all this in a minute. This is just a ridiculous passive. Ridiculous passive. But now, his A2 is my favorite. It goes really well with his passive. But the passive does have to be poisons done by Urost, but that does include a toxic set. You don't need any accuracy to use a toxic set. So that's a really cool way to go up against an enemy that you don't have enough accuracy for, but still down that boss. In Stu's video, he actually had enough gear. He soloed the Frost Spider on the hardest level of hard Doom Tower with just Urost. Of course, he brought Lydia to make sure that it stayed dead. But we're not going to go that far today. We're just going to talk about, in general, what can you get and how much fun can you have with this guy. This A2 is ridiculous. As long as there is one poison up, you're going to tear down turn meter on everybody that has one poison when he uses his A2. If they have two poisons, you're going to put a slow on them. If they have three poisons, you're going to stun them. In other words, if you can get three poisons up, they do not have to be put up by Urost. So if you got a Cavalax, start out the fight, maybe a Taurus with a bunch of poisons, he comes in and stuns the entire team, slows them down, rips their turn meter. That is pretty disgusting. So we're going to find different places to use that. I love this move. Now, as far as helping the team out like a support champion in a way, he places Strengthen for 2 turns on everybody. He puts Ally Protection up on everybody. Think about Clan Boss. This guy not only has, say, 100,000 HP when you build him out, he will build that up to like 145,000, 150,000 HP by simply planting poisons and letting the enemy take damage, the Clan Boss. That means he's going to be the highest HP tank you ever had on Clan Boss. Keep his crit damage low so the Ally Protection doesn't cause big damage coming on to him. And he's going to add a Strengthen on top of that. One of the best ways to work on the Clan Boss. Now, by the time you've gotten him, I admit, you probably already have a good Clan Boss team. But he would be fun to do if you just like tinkering around with Clan Boss teams. And I may do that in the future. But we're going to use this guy in general content. Now his A1. Even his A1 is amazing. He hits, it places a shield for 10% of his max HP. But believe me, it's going to be high after his poison damage starts ticking. The toxic set makes that even better and safer. So you're going to have a huge shield. And the shield increases per poison on the debuff target, and it doesn't have to be his poison. So the more poisons you got, the merrier, the better this is going to be. And an aura in all battles, 80% resistance. So how am I going to be running him today? Toxic set, Immortal set. He has so much max HP that his Immortal set with that little 3% heal will heal for like 4,500. It's actually a decent heal every turn with one Immortal set because that's how much HP he's going to have. my total stats, I went for 100,000 HP before I moved on. I wanted to get, I'm using his aura, so in a lot of content, which means that I'm in a good place on resistance. I did want to get enough resistance to run dungeons without him getting wave controlled, you know. So you don't have to go too high if you're using his aura. So at tag 80 on top of that puts us about 260, and then we got 286 accuracy. All you need is the bare minimum if you're going to be using him in dungeons, because against like a boss where you don't have enough accuracy, you can still use that toxic set to get things done. So a lot to talk about. If you think those numbers are crazy, they're really not. By the time you're pushing enough hard mode Doom Tower, if you're just barely dipping your toes into hard mode Doom Tower, go for those secret rooms that you can get, because this reward, he's the second legendary you get. It will take some time to get him, but it's worth it, and he's so cool. So how do you get those high numbers? What's my speed? I think 212, nothing crazy. He's going to be soloing some stuff. He is the easiest dragon solo probably you'll get in the game. The easiest solo. Well, I suppose now the lizard man, what is it? The lizard lord, he can solo really good on the scarab boss too, but it's so easy to do. We'll talk about it all in a minute, but a little over 200 speed, enough resistance and enough accuracy to get the job done. I could easily roll a lot of this into resistance. None of it's going to be super important. You just need the bare minimum and he'll get by. You don't need any resistance if you're going to run the scarab boss. In fact, the kind of gear you're wearing probably doesn't even matter. Throw some Nikes on this bad boy and you're going to beat the scarab boss, because that A1 constantly puts a shield up every time he takes a move, and that's all you need. He's tearing down turn meter with, max HP with his passive, tearing that shield off. He's made for it. It's amazing. So let's look at all the things this guy can do. Let's see how he fits into different teams. Dragon is pretty much the best place to get somebody who can finally solo and actually run food with him. So how do you make him solo? Pretty easy. Go ahead and make a team. This is the way I'm going with it. Make a team with Urost and just make sure to set him up to where he's not using his A3. And make sure to go to round 2 and 3 as well. You don't need to be wasting your time with that strengthen buff. You want them dead anyway, so no ally protection. You just want to turn off the A3 and he's ready to go. We're gonna look at his masteries, because we want him juggling between his A2 and A1 as much as possible. Once this team's made, just put him in there, and then you can easily sub these out anytime you want for more food by taking them out without affecting him, and just throw in some more food. Doesn't matter who they are, they're ready to go. So let's real quick look at his masteries so you know what we're working with. Okay, masteries are a fickle thing, right? There's a lot of cool masteries you can go with, but I will say, if you're going to do any solo work or protect your team with this guy, go ahead and make sure you get Life Drinker and War Master. I'll make a case is probably the best way to go for his tier 6 mastery. Obviously, it's his best output for damage, and he can stand toe-to-toe with pretty much any boss. So what I did on my accuracy tree, my support tree, I took a little bit of accuracy and I made his shield a little bit bigger. And the reason I did that is so that I can go into rapid response and arcane celerity. Each one's going to have a chance of boosting my turn meter when buffs wear off and debuffs wear off, and he's going to have plenty of them. Cycle of Magic, because I really want that A2 coming around as much as possible. Evil Eye, just kind of fun. Tear turn meter down, a little extra control, especially if you're soloing waves. He's not all about soloing, but he's definitely handy. Master Hexer is good. You want the poisons to last as long as possible. Sniper, turn that into an 80% instead of a 75% chance of landing them. Other great options here would be right here, Lore of Steel. You might take that instead of Evil Eye, just in case you need it, depending if you're not using the gear I'm using. It would actually boost his HP. If you don't need the accuracy, you could go into Steadfast, give him even more HP. You can increase his heals and his shields with all 3 of these. So there are plenty of options to actually improve this guy. But in the end, I do like Oppressor would be a pretty cool mastery to put on him. But in the end, War Master is going to get the most value when you get up to the boss. And in general, if you're wondering how we reach 200 speed, 100,000 HP, and all that accuracy, all that resistance, it's really not as bad as you think. Basically, HP 6-star chest. By the time you get him, you surely have a good one. I don't have really good rolls on her. I've got some accuracy, 1 roll on resist. And we're really looking for HP, so these crit rate and defense, not a big deal. Though I will take the flat defense. So we're not worried about damage. We're keeping crit damage low because of ally protection. So we'll go ahead and take HP gloves again, 6-star if you can find them. I did get 2 speed rolls. Attack is worthless here. And defense is okay, but not what we're looking for. So there's not a lot going on here. I took it for the speed and the 6-star HP percentage. Speed boots, they're only 5-star. Not too bad. I did get 2 HP percentage rolls. I like that. Crit rate's worthless. Accuracy, it helps. Defense, again, it's okay. Just showing what I'm using because it's not as hard as you think to obtain these things. This was a great accuracy piece with 1 roll into speed, so definitely worth it. I get the defense from a 6-star shield, and then I've got flat defense and crit damage, both worthless. So there's a lot of useless stats here, and we still reached pretty good numbers wearing a toxic set and 1 immortal. Here I did get my big triple roll of speed, but you'll notice there's not speed everywhere else. Accuracy, HP, resistance, the kind of stats I am looking for, so that's a pretty good piece. This one too, triple roll, HP percentage, I've got speed, I've got attack's worthless, crit rate's worthless. And then I did get double speed on my accuracy banner. This could be a resistance banner, this could be an HP banner, almost whatever you want to do. This guy can get away with murder if he's in a toxic set. And then this is just an HP, it's actually horrible. The resistance is probably why I'm wearing it right now. An HP necklace, an HP ring. That's it. Pretty bad rolls on all of them, right? But it still easily gets us to that, because of his base stats, easily gets us to that 100,000 mark. So it'd be easy to do even more. The speed is not that hard to get. 5-star speed boots, 1 triple roll, 2 double rolls, and then 1 or 2 single rolls. That's all I have. So I want to go over that, just kind of see how I did it if you're trying to obtain these kind of numbers and you're looking through your gear. All right, so back to the show. Honestly, watch this guy work. I think he's probably the easiest dragon solo. He can do it in 4 minutes 25. Probably the easiest one you could build. He's going to start taking a beating, and as he takes a beating, look at the poisons. Those are all from his toxic set, so already he'll have effectiveness. We're waiting for everybody else to die. He's only using A1 and A2 all the way through. And as he takes a beating, watch how he really ramps up. Those hash marks on his HP bar are growing every time a poison tick happens. And now with all these poisons, watch what happens when we use our A2 here. He's going to bring it back around, and anybody with 3 will be stunned, which is pretty much the whole team. And the people who didn't have 3, they got slow and they got turn meter ripped. So he has tons of control. All on his own. All on his own. He's shielding up and healing every move. And if he's not shielding up, he's stunning the entire team, slowing them, ripping turn meters. So by the time you look like you're taking a beating, and then he just pretty much becomes this monster mammoth that can't be taken down. Green jelly rocks. So let's just watch this go through, watch this guy work.
Taking, everyone's grabbing, all the women are howling, running, everyone's rushing, all the saviors are frowning. Says it's too cold to read, face expressions that mean nothing. Live your sadness in this bowl till you feel minor changes in your body.
Man, you gotta love him, right? He is awesome. It's all him. All the healing, all the damage, just absolutely easy. It's the easiest way you're probably going to get a solo on Dragon 25. There are plenty of people who can do it, but it's so easy to make him do it. Stu showed him soloing, like I say, the final Frost Spotter, and that's pretty sick. It does take Stu Gaming type gear though, and he also showed Ice Golem as a solo. Now I did solo Ice Golem, but I'm going to tell you it's a little bit harder than it looks. Okay, what else can he do for you? You can put him on a really nasty, tanky arena team, which would probably look more like something like this, maybe something like this, and just drive people crazy. That ally protection, as his toxic set's putting out poisons and they start taking moves, you're going to continuously get more and more max HP, making him harder and harder to heal, to kill. And as long as you got some heals and protection, it could go crazy. Before we show that though, let's just show how you could use his setup real quick in general. So we're going to do kind of like we did in the Doom Tower waves. Let's set him up with poisons. I'm not built. It depends on their resistance. It doesn't look like a high resist team. I'm not built with enough accuracy for arena. I've got like 230 on him and 300 on him. But we're going to go ahead and try to show it. We probably want to bring some kind of way of blocking debuffs. So we're going to bring cardio for that. And see if we can just show how the setup can really rock in arena. I don't think we're not set up tuned fast enough, but let's see if we can get around. The poisons means that if we get his A2 off, they're all stunned, they're all slowed, we rip their turn meter, it's going to be beautiful. But I don't think we're going to get the shot first. So we're going to protect ourselves here. And we should be good to go now. Let's let them... Oh, they ripped the debuffs. So the provoke meant we had the A1. Yeah, we picked so this will be more like a nasty team that we got going on here. If we can get back around to our revive, this will turn into a pretty cool fight. So here we go. Let's bring everybody back. Let's try to get that speed buff. Well, we better buff ourselves. We're never going to get back around to it. Let's rip off some of these. There we go. So that squishy Calvalax is not doing us much good. Let's just get rid of this Trunda. We don't need her on our back. And then Molly brings her right back. See? So the poisons are gone. We're not worry about the A2 now. We're going to go ahead and protect who we have on the board. And let's just keep them from speeding up for a minute. And then we'll take Molly out. This did not go according to plan. But again, I'm not built for arena. Let's take Molly out of here. The revive's gone. Now we need Trunda to go. We haven't even had a chance to land many poisons, so this is no bueno. But that move did pretty good. Not bad. Let's just keep ourselves... Man, everything's getting blocked. It's over from here anyway. That was not what I wanted to show you. So in arena, I mean, like he's got some... He could be put on a tanky team. Like if we did that as a actual tank team, you could see it could be pretty good. So let's just go with some tankiness and let this go on full auto and just show where he probably really actually has a place in arena. And that's just being a tank, being a big meat shield. If we're lucky enough that our toxic set, so you don't need accuracy to land poisons with the toxic set. So when Arbiter takes a turn, that's going to start building up his max HP, tearing hers down, making her easier to handle later. We've got revives. They're picking on the right guy because he can take all those hits and then be brought right back. So you just put him on this big, massive tanky team and let it go and make people go crazy until they leave the fight.
Let's make a K. Yeah, let's make a K. Let's tie our hands down to the tracks. Let's make the world look flat. Let's cut the tongue before they ever learn to sing. Let's burn the homes to warm our hands, plant our flags on foreign lands. Let's leave the fingers and take the ring. Let's make a K. Yeah, let's make a K. Well, let's keep one alive to tell the tale.
Alright, it's slowly coming to an end. Those poisons actually did some work since we didn't bring any real damage. But the idea is you can just take a beating. You got revivers if anything goes south. Because even with that massive max HP that he builds up, he is ally protecting for the team. So he's going to take a lot of damage. But he can take a whole round of beating before he finally goes down. Then he's revived right back up. That is his real place in arena if you're going to try to use him. And of course, I would build him for arena. A little higher resistance and all that. The accuracy does not matter. You could just let the toxic set do the poison. That's where most of them came from. So a great like 3v3 defense if you need one. Another very niche but might help people out if you're progressing. The Magma Dragon is not that hard, but if you don't have a lot of provokers, bring as many strengthen debuffs or buffs as you can and run right through this boss. So I've got one provoker on this team, but he's on a 3-turn cooldown. If that's all you have is just a actual provoker and their skill is on cooldown, you can't keep it up. So unless you can figure out a way to bring multiple provokers, hopefully we'll set it off at the beginning of the fight, and that will let the hit be drawn into high shield. If we have one of our strengthen buffs up when high shield gets hit, we have a 50% shot of putting a provoke up as the Magma Dragon takes his turn and hits that strengthen buff. So kind of watch how it works. Even if we do take a Hex, the next move will be an AoE, and if strengthens on everybody, it's almost a guaranteed chance that the next round you'll have a provoke up and it will go into Urost, giving your provoker a chance to get another provoke up. And if that doesn't happen, if Urost has strengthen up, he can put provoke up again. So let's just watch how this can work out and help you out. It's kind of like bringing somebody with an A1 provoke with a 50% shot if you don't have one. So provoke's up now. There is a strengthen buff up on high shield. Oh, it wasn't high shield. It was him. Anyways, we missed the 50% shot there. But it still will play out good because here, everybody will have strengthen up, hopefully. There, strengthens on everybody. And now when the AoE comes in, it's almost a guarantee that you're going to see provoke pop up here. So yes, we will take a Hex debuff, but we'll put provoke up for the next round. There's provoke. And that gives your provoker a chance to put it back up next time you bought yourself a round. It's just an interesting way to help keep provoke up while you're here. There are 100 ways to do it, but the A1s usually are not 100%. Just like this is not 100%. You combine the two, you're going to have a pretty good chance of keeping provoke up. Just something I would throw out there, and we'll just let this play out. It shouldn't take just a second. I brought a slow team for this. I know Magma Dragon is not super difficult, but if you're progressing and struggling, that's just a really cool way. If this is about where you are in Doom Tower, trying to hit a couple secret rooms and you can't get much further, if you reach Urost, it's going to help you out. It's going to help you out. And he can sturdy up any of these teams. So one other thing, now that we've gone over him, showed how cool and fun he is, I just wanted to kind of talk about some of the other synergies he has with other Doom Tower bosses. I mean, heroes. So, like in the Masteries or the skills, an interesting thing, this A2, my favorite move that he has, when you're up against waves. So this actually will be used automatically if Rian the Conjurer revives him. She is also a Doom Tower hero that's quite cool herself. I've gotten quite a bit of play on her with the Hydra boss. So she, not only, when she revives, if Akoth the Seared or Urost the Soulcage are on the team and she revives somebody else, she automatically revives them. As soon as she revives him, he gets a free A2, meaning that if poisons are up, he's going to stun the team when he comes back alive, and she didn't even revive him to begin with. You got 2 revives for the price of 1 and a full team stun with slow, Terminator down. That's pretty sick. She does the same for Akoth as well. We'll be going over him. They're really cool synergy on those 3. But I want to start going over these Doom Tower things. I'm so sorry I've been busy working. I'm going to start trying to make time. It's the wee hours of the morning, and I got to work any second, to be honest. So I'm going to get off here, but I've been having fun with him. If you got him, enjoy him. Tell me anything cool that you've explored with him. He can solo so many different bosses in so many different ways, and really great on waves if you're using him for actual support for your team. But in the end, probably the easiest way to solo Dragon 25 that I've found. Anyways, I'll see you next time, and until next time, enjoy the grind.